Hey everybody, this is Seb from the Duel Bros channel, and today we're going to be doing a follow-up to my agent deck profile, which I'll link in the description. Charlie Fisher here asked for some test hands and combos, so in this video we're going to be doing exactly that, plus some breakdowns of individual cards where I think it's necessary. In the description I'll also put some timestamps for the different sections of this video, and now let's do this. This deck's focus is synchro climbing, with the ideal end results being the 2 level 10 synchros we're running. Master Hyperion, the ace of the deck, who I'll get into a bit later, and Cheng Ying, who needs no introduction. This deck has an overall theme of banishing stuff either for cost or as an end result. So yeah, this guy is devious in the long run. And the deck does offer a pretty straightforward way to get them out, with these 2 main deck Hyperions, who you can special summon by banishing an agent for cost from either hand, field or graveyard. In Master's case, you can just summon him from the hand, but Majesty, you can do it from the hand or graveyard, which is going to be instrumental in a combo we're going to cover soon. And then of course, in terms of tuners, our main tuner Earth is a level 2, and then this guy Uranus, who we run 1 copy of, can special summon himself if the Sanctuary in the Sky field spell is on the field, and then change his level to 2 by sending an Earth from your deck to your graveyard. And then of course, to search all of these, 3 copies of the Sacred Waters in the Sky, which can fetch you any card that mentions the Sanctuary in its text, which basically all the agents and all the Hyperions do, except for Venus. And then there's a few other effects which you probably will forget about because they're not as important, so I'll just go over those quickly. Once you resolve the search, you can gain 500 life points for every Hyperion on your field. Oh, and it's not just a search, because alternatively, you could just play this and use it to activate Sanctuary directly from your deck, which is one of the reasons why we're only running 1 copy. This is insanely searchable. And then once this is in your graveyard, you can banish it in order to, protect one of your monsters from getting destroyed by battle if it mentions the Sanctuary in its text. So yeah, very lovely searcher that does a few extra things. Now let's get into the proper combos. How are we going to get out Master Flare or Cheng Ying? Our first way to synchro climb is with this nifty 1-card combo featuring the Diviner of the Herald. This lady was intended for ritual summoning, but she is just as good for level 10 synchro summoning, and here's how. First you're going to normal summon her, and then you're going to use her effect, which can send 1 monster from either your extra deck or your deck from your graveyard. And the one you'll be picking is Trias Hierarchia. Send it to the graveyard, and then Trias can special summon itself by tributing some stuff you control. So you're going to target the Herald and tribute her to get back your Trias. But in turn, this will trigger Herald's other effect, which will let you special summon from your deck the level 1 tuner Buten. And boom, level 9, level 1. Synchro summon your level 10 synchro. Of course, if you draw the Buten, this combo's screwed and you can't use it. But there is a way to make having Buten in your hand useful, which we'll get into a bit later. And it's worth noting that while Buten is in your graveyard, you can banish it to make 1 level 4 or lower fairy monster you control a tuner, which, once again, very useful for synchro climbing. And this deck does run Mystical Shine Balls, which are a very good target for your Buten to, become tuner. In terms of Diviner, there is another strategy you can do with her, and that is using her to send Elder Entity Nits from your extra deck to the graveyard, which will resolve its effect and let you destroy 1 card on the field. It's worth noting that Herald absorbs the levels of whatever it sends, so by sending the level 4 Nits, that's going to be added to its level and it becomes a level 6 tuner. This goes very well with the aforementioned Mystical Shine Ball, because that's just an instant level 8, and we do run quite a few good level 8 synchros. We got, of course, Cyframe Lord Omega, Draco Berserker of the Tenyi, and my boy Visus Amritara, who upon summon will let you set the Omni-Negate Vanadium Reframing. Plenty of options here. But enough about the Diviner. This is an agent deck after all, and I'm pretty sure you're all here to see what the agents can do. So let's go over that right now. Before I get into what these guys do in terms of combos, let's just briefly go over what each of them do individually. I mean, I am running 2 more agents besides these 3, the Edgy Venus and Uranus, but I've already gone over Uranus, and the Edgy Venus isn't going to become relevant until a bit later. So let's just go over these 3. Neptune. You can discard him to special summon an agent from your hand or graveyard, or if the Sanctuary is out on the field, you can do it to a Hyperion instead. But you're mainly going to be doing this for agents, because like I said earlier, the Hyperions can already special summon themselves. And he's not just a way to revive your guys or extend your combos, because when he's banished, he can search you your Sanctuary in the sky. This is another reason why we're only running 1 of the Sanctuary, because with 3 Neptunes and 3 Sacred Waters, there are 6 whole searchers for this field spell. And banishing Neptune is a very easy task, because like I said, most of this deck is about banishing. The Hyperions banished as cost for summoning, and then they also banish for cost to activate their ability. So there are plenty of ways to remove this man from play and get you your Greek Temple. Earth. She's your main tuner, and also your main searcher. When you normal summon her, you can get any agent you want, which is instrumental for setting up combos. And then if the Sanctuary is in the sky, you can get Master Hyperion instead, which makes level 10 synchro climbing, well, insanely easy. It's worth noting though, she can only get you Master, not Majesty, because he was, added to the game at a later date, so the wording only says Master Hyperion. And last but definitely not least, we have the most important card in the deck, the regular Venus. Her effect is, you can pay 500 life points to get a mystical shine ball from your deck or hand. And it's worth noting, there are no restrictions for this, straight up none. If you get ashed, you can just say, okay, and pay another 500 life points to still get your ball. You can get all 3 balls in 1 turn. It's actually insane. The only limit to Venus is the amount of life points you have. So yeah, if your opponent wants to stop this, they're going to need something like Effect Veiler or Infinite Impermanence that just shuts her down for good. These balls, you can use them for synchro material or for a bit of link climbing, and they are beautiful balls. And then, speaking of the balls, Edgy Venus, we run 1 of her, and she's a level 3 tuner, so more synchro versatility, and you can special summon her by banishing your regular Venus, or just normal summon her because she's level 3. And her whole thing is that she can special summon the balls once they're in your graveyard or your banish pile, and then they get shuffled back into the deck when they're used up. So we have an infinite balls loop that basically just relies on your life points existing. Very powerful stuff if left unchecked. Edgy Venus is a bit more restrictive than normal Venus though, because unlike normal Venus, where there's no limits and you just pay 500 ball, pay 500 ball, Edgy Venus only does batch orders. You're going to have to say straight up whether it's 500 for 1, 1,000 for 2, or 1,500 for all 3. And then that's all you get for the turn. So you can actually Ash Blossom the edgy one. And then that is it for the agents. Let's see how they all combo together. For the main combo, you're going to want Earth, Neptune, and normal Venus in your hand. Well, I say in your hand, but you can just normal summon Earth if you only have 1 of them, and use Earth's effect to search the other one, and we're still in the same position. So, okay, we have the Earth, we have the other two planets here. We'll start by discarding Neptune to summon Venus. And then, of course, we're going to start balling with Venus's effect. 1 ball, 2 ball, 3 balls. With these 5 monsters on the field. I mean, let's just see if we can fit it all in the camera. Okay, there we go. Now, the options for synchro summoning are wild here. I mean, with this layout, any combination of Earth plus Venus plus the balls can get you a level 4 synchro, like Herald of the Arclight, to like prevent Nibiru's. I mean, well, we have 5 monsters already, but let's say you were like really worried about a Nibiru for some reason. You could just like, you know, summon Earth, Venus, 1 ball, and then get the Arclight. Or Cupid Pitch. We can get a level 5, like Pluto, who's just a walking book of moon. A level 6, like your Brionac. A level 7, like your Fairy Dragon. The level 8 we mentioned earlier. Or your level 9 Trishula. So yeah, long story short, take your pick. But how can we turn these planets and these balls into a Master Hyperion? Here's how we're going to do it. So first of all, we're going to use some of these balls for linking. Link off these 2 for the Agent's Link monster, Moon. Moon has an effect where you contribute a monster you control to destroy something your opponent controls, but that is not going to be relevant here. What is relevant is that she can send a monster from your deck to the graveyard. And of course, we're picking Master Hyperion. Like, this is just the main thing you're going to be doing with Moon, and most of the time the main thing you're going to be doing with Venus. Because, like, with him in the graveyard, you can just banish a monster, an agent monster, to special summon himself. So as long as he's in the graveyard, you can just get out level 10 super duper easily. But yeah, now in your graveyard, we have Neptune and Majesty. So we're going to use Majesty to banish Neptune and summon himself. And of course, banishing Neptune will trigger his effect, Sanctuary in the Sky. It's time for a bit more link climbing. So we are going to link off these 2 into not Avenging Knight. What's he called? Celestial Night Lord Parshath. There's too many Parshaths, man. But yeah, the Parshath Link monster is now with us. And remember earlier when I said that Boots N would become useful in the hand in some situations? The situation is now. Because Parshath's whole thing is that he can discard a card in order to search you anything that mentions Sanctuary in the Sky. So any Hyperion, any Agent, and the vast majority of your spell and trap cards. So of course, you can just, if you draw Boots N, discard him for the cost of your Celestial Night Lord Parshath. Although of course, if you do have Boots N in your hand, then we're going to be doing the link climbing a little differently. Because we'd use Venus as one of the materials for your Parshath, just so there's 1 ball remaining on the field we can use as the Boots N target. But for the sake of this combo, Venus is more important here. So yeah, Parshath, discard any card to search something. And in the vast majority of cases, you will be wanting to search Divine Punishment, an Omni-Negate counter trap that can trigger if you control a Sanctuary, which you indeed do. Just a nice little bit of protection here. And now we have our Earth, we have our Majesty. We can synchro summon them off into whatever we want. Such as my boy, the Master Flare Hyperion. So what does Master Flare actually do? Whenever your opponent does something, you can banish a card from your graveyard to banish a card on the field, so he's a disruption. But more importantly, he can send any agent from your deck to the graveyard and gain their effects for this turn. So if you haven't done the Venus link climbing already, you would be sending Venus and then doing balls from Hyperion. But if you've already done it, then of course you will send the edgy Venus just so you can do it all again. I mean, infinite materials on demand is perfect because, you know, the next time you draw a tuner or search a tuner with your Celestial Night Lord Parshath, you will have everything you need to just immediately go into a synchro summon. But for now, this is our end board. We've got an Omni Negate here, we've got a Disruption here, and this doesn't even use up all the cards in your hand, so you will likely have some more cards to do stuff with. There are a few one-off monsters I want to discuss before we get into test hands, so I'll do that right now. Archlord Christia, this infamous fairy who will lock special summoning and can special summon itself when you have exactly 4 fairies in your graveyard. This one is absolutely nasty in the Agents deck, simply because as a synchro deck, there's going to be a ton of monsters in the graveyard. And as a deck that banishes for cost quite a bit, you can easily tailor it so there's exactly 4, and then just go, nope, Christia, right at the end of your big combo. There is also this one-off we run called Ringo Worm, a level 2 tuner that can special summon itself if there's a normal monster you control. Which, the vast majority of the time, there will be. The idea is, once your ball is out and you draw the Ringo Worm, you will special summon Ringo Worm. And this is where it gets interesting. Because, like, you could just get an Arclight. But you could also do some more stuff. Synchro summon into your other level 4 Cupid Pitch. And this will trigger the Ringo Worm's effect to special summon a token. And this token can either be a tuner or a non-tuner depending on what you want. But for the sake of our tuner synchro Cupid Pitch, we're just going to use it as a normal material. So yeah, when Cupid Pitch is summoned, she can increase her level or decrease her level by 2. We're going to go for an increase, so she's now a level 6. And we're going to synchro Cupid and the token into anything level 8. Which most of the time will just be Visas Amritara for his aforementioned Monadium reframing. Omni Negates never hurts anybody except for your opponent. Okay, so we've done combos, we've broken down the cards individually. Now let's move on to the test hands. Gonna shuffle this for a bit. Yeah, this should be enough shuffling. Now I'm gonna cut the deck. Boom. Boom. And let's see what the gacha gods have given us. Neptune, not bad. Earth. Diviner. Sacred Waters. And Ringo Worm? Okay, we got some funnies here. We got a pretty good hand over here. Okay, so we have the option to do either of the 2 combos we went over earlier. I'm going to be a bit spicy and take the middle route and get the best of both worlds. Pun intended. So to kick things off, the Sacred Waters in the Sky. I activate this to search, and if this happens uninterrupted, I will get myself a Venus. The regular one, not the edgy one. Our next step will be to normal summon Diviner and use her effect to send. Gonna send Trias Hierarchia. And then special Trias by tributing the Diviner for cost. Diviner's effect will trigger to special me. Buten. I am then going to synchro summon into my Sword Soul Chengying, and then from my hand discard Neptune to special summon Venus, and then of course with the Venus I'll do 3 sets of paying 500 life points in order to get me 3 mystical shine balls. And of course, I'm going to link off 2 balls to get me Moon. And then Moon is going to do her task of sending from my deck to the graveyard Majesty Hyperion. I am then going to special summon Majesty by banishing Neptune in the graveyard for cost, which will now trigger Neptune's effect and get me a Sanctuary in the Sky, which I will promptly activate. Of course, since I control a normal monster, I can special the Ringo Worm. And now it can all begin. I link summon the Celestial Night Lord Parshath, and it looks like I kind of blundered, and my plan to save Earth for later isn't going to work out because she's the only card in my hand. I'll use his effect, discard the Earth, in order to search me the Omni Negate card Divine Punishment, which I will promptly set. Now, I'm going to synchro with Ringo and Majesty into the Master Flare Hyperion. Even though Ringo is a generic tuner, the requirements for Master Flare, if my camera picks it up, is 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner fairy monsters, so he fits the bill. And now it's time for Master Flare to use his effect. We will send to the graveyard from the deck, if I can find her real quick, Edgy Venus. So for now, Master Flare gets Edgy Venus's effect. Oh yeah, also, when Ringo Worm was sent, we do get our little token over here, who will be our tuner for today. And of course, there is only 1 space on the field, so pay 500 to get back a ball. And now we have the potential to get out 1 more synchro. Let me just think about what I want. If this is like a going first turn, another Omni Negate wouldn't hurt. Let's try and go for Amritara. So we got our level 2 tuner, got our level 2, level 3. Now we can get a level 7, a level 4, or a level 5. I'm thinking we should go for our other Omni Negate in the form of the trusty Herald of the Arclight. And I will end my turn. So let's go over what we got here. Omni Negate thanks to Arclight, and a bit of a floodgate with his, like, no monsters can be sent from the hand or main deck to the graveyard, otherwise they get banished. Hang on. Banish. So if your opponent acts stupid, they could trigger Chengying. But even if they act clever, Chengying is still going to go off. Because don't forget that Hyperion, can banish a monster on the field and one in the graveyard, which will let Cheng Ying do the same thing. Tons of banishes. And if your opponent tries to say, no, Artifact Lancia, you can just say, I know you're no. Divine Punishment. Overall, a very solid test hand. And it's officially time for test hand 2. Test hand number 1 was a perfect hand, so I imagine my next one won't be so lucky. Unless today's my lucky day. But yeah. Do a bit more shuffling. Cut the deck. And let's see what we managed to pull this time. A Mystical Shine Ball. If we get Ringo Worm, it's good. Otherwise, it's a bit meh. Earth. Not too shabby. Harpy's Feather Duster. Sacred Waters. And Nibiru the Primal Being. Okay, this hand, yeah, I called it. It's a bit more bricky than what we had last time. This is actually a good question. What do I do? Normal Earth effect to search Venus, the Agent of Creation. There she is. Next up, I'm going to play Sacred Waters in the Sky in order to get me Neptune. And you know what? Actually, this hand isn't too bad. If we go uninterrupted, the combo happens. I mean, I've already gone over this combo, but, like, you already know what we're doing with, like, Neptune and Venus. So, yeah. Started off looking bad, turned out fantastic. Let's do one final test hand. See what we get. Cut the deck. Nibiru, Diviner, Christia, Reframing, and Called By. Just like last time, you already know the main combo here, but I'm still going to show it to you because I want to see if I can pull off Christia as well. So yeah, let's get on with this. We got Herald, and I'm sure you know the drill. Herald will send Trias, Tribute Special Trias, well not Trias, Herald other effect, summon Buten, if I can find it, here we go, Buten, and we are going to synchro summon into the Master Flare Hyperion. And then we're going to use his effect. Since we haven't used regular Venus's effect already, we're going to be sending the regular Venus from deck to graveyard this time. And now Master Flare Hyperion has her effect. So we're just going to do 3 sets of 500 life points to get out 3 Mystical Shine Balls. Okay, how many fairies are in the graveyard? Oh, exactly 4. So now the question is, do I Link Climb or do I go for Christia? The obvious answer, Christia. Christia effect will get back our Diviner. So now we happen to have a tuner in our hand and materials remaining. We'll set Mannadium Reframing, set Called By the Grave, and call it a turn. Plenty of disruptions here. I mean, Reframing can activate because we have a Synchro. Called By, enough said. Master Flare will control the field. And Christia shuts down special summons. And the balls are just here for the ride. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't have summoned them this turn and waited, but whatever. They're here now, and if the opponent kills them, I can just next turn Master Flare, send the Edgy Venus, and then he is going to get her effects and we have our balls back. Man, this deck is just so fun to play. But yeah, that's it for the Agent's deck overview, combos, and test hands. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope this gave you what you were looking for. And I'll see you all next time. Bye!